Welcome back into the workshop, and I'm going to try and let the camera show you the process that I am making use of. So far I've probably drilled 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 holes in quick succession. It doesn't take long and the effort is acceptable. In fact, it's minimal. So you won't be able to see it, but down there just below the drill tip is the wee spot hole drill, that mark that I've made. So I'll just go quiet because you won't hear me properly anyway. Well, that might be a plus for you, but this is the method that I'm using. Dead simple. In fact, I don't even have to really film it or describe it too much. It's pretty flaming obvious. So here we go. Well, I might talk. Most people think I talk too much, so they might be right. But I just wriggle the sheet into position, lower the tip of the drill into the wee mark, rotate the chuck a little bit to allow the tip to fully engage the hole properly, and it will move the sheet round ever so slightly. You can feel it at times moving it into its right position. Keeping a tiny bit of pressure on the drill, I can now turn it on. Sometimes it won't start up, so you have to give a wee bit of a spin. Generally it does. This is not a particularly strong drill press or the motor on it, so yeah, you get what you get. So that time it went through, and the board that I've got underneath wasn't fully aligned properly, and that's when it kicked off. That can make a little bit of a vibration, and I don't want that because it could slog the hole out a little bit. So I'm not wanting that. So as often as possible, the sacrificial piece that I've got underneath, I want to keep directly underneath the hole. So I will try and position again and do the next one just to show the sequence. The only issue I've got here is that I don't want to come out that way too far because it might tip. I've put another board underneath there on each end to give a little bit more stability, so yeah, hopefully. Anyway, let's see how we go here. Clean out. You've got to be really careful because those flaming bits are sharp. Clean the hole out, eyeballing it into the position, rotate the drill, spin it up. That time the board underneath, the sacrificial piece, was in the correct position, and there I have the next hole drilled. Nothing really super clever about that, is there? And again, as I said, it's not like you wouldn't have followed me just by my explanations previously. So yeah, the benefit of having a table so long on the drill press, I'm actually quite happy with it. And it's actually, I've seen a lot of people make up drill table or drill press tables, and I didn't see the need for it. I didn't have the need for it, but what it did do was allow me to tune in the squareness of the to the bed, the drill bit, and I did note in this scenario that it wasn't square on this axis. This axis, yes. This axis, no. So if nothing else, making an auxiliary table top for your drill press may have that flexibility or capability within it. Question is, why wouldn't you want to do that? Because drill press is supposed to drill square in all directions, is it not? And if it isn't, a simple little accessory top might well be the thing that you need. Anyway, there you go, not much in that, and I'll just carry on banging these out. I've got to spin it round to drill this set of holes along here, and as I said, I can't do this set, and to be fair, I really don't need them. I will probably do something in the way of having to marking them, but yeah, do I need them at all? I really don't think so, you know. I'm contemplating making up a different sort of jig to hold my drill bit. Now just wait there, I'm just going to go away for a minute, well not a minute, a few seconds. And this is the jig, this is a matched set, and that drill goes in there very nicely, I've got to say, holds it very, very nicely. But as I've explained, that when you're using the a drill, actually let's just reorientate the gimbal. When you're using the drill, your hand being cantilevered out, as it's pushing hard down onto the melamine surface, which needs a bit of pressure to break through, there's a tendency to put pressure on not perfectly plumb. That's not a good thing. The problem is you have to have one hand on this and only one hand on the drill. So my thoughts are, if I can use a different version of this, I'll be able to clamp the damn thing down into position, and I'll be able to use my drill with two hands, reducing the need, that little bias that does happen when you're putting pressure on a drill. The thinking there is, and this is why I'm enjoying this sort of work at the moment, I like when there are systems, and this bushing can be removed to put other bushes that I've already got, that ones that I'm using for the 3-4-5 squaring method, etc. in the doweling situation. It's got the same thread, a 14 by 1. Interesting. It also means that if I wanted to, I could use this bushing in the bars, or, and as I just alluded to before, if I made a variation of this using the steel bars, I could either use that bushing or some of the bushings that I've already got to put this in to do these sets of holes along here, because the bar that I'd make, the jig that I'd make like this would straddle the width, and they could be clamped off on each side in position and drill. Yay! That wouldn't be too silly. One of these in position and clamp, but they really does need to have that capability of being clamped on both sides, or this has to be set somehow into a position that allows it to be clamped. I think making a bar up that goes the full width, stack up a few packers of the same material because they're 10 millimeters thick, and then all of a sudden I can have a clampable equivalent of this with exactly the same tolerance for the drill bit and the bushing. How does that sound? Does it sound as if I am forcing myself to do this? Well, there's not much forcing, because I actually quite enjoy, if I come up with a problem, I enjoy finding a solution that can be achieved in the workshop. Now, if I were to have all different disparate sort of components that don't work together, yeah, well then it would be a pain in the butt and might not enjoy it quite so much. But that's not the case. I might as well make use of the parts and reimagine how they can be used, and I like this idea of having a bar that goes right across in place. In fact, just thinking, while I've got you trapped, this bar here could be one of the bars. After all, I could use a wider one. That could, no, I can't register it, but what I'm saying is that is the same distance there from the mark that I'm going to have to drill with a 20 millimeter hole. So that would be the place where would replace this. All I need to do is to lift this up with pieces of other steel, and I can either use a bush equivalent of this, which is 10 millimeters. I can replace that with a 10, or just use this one, which, why wouldn't I? Because it is a matched pair. So yay. So just lift this up, make the underneath side of this the same height as this, and we've just got a longer bar that can be clamped here and clamped there to allow me to do my drilling. Yay. All I have to do is make this hole, drill this one out, because it's already marked, and ditto down that end, and then I can then put the bar along the full length like I've done all these other holes, and mark all the points for me to make this thing work. So yeah, that's a positive. I thought about this a couple of weeks ago, but I hadn't done anything about it because I hadn't got to the stage and I was getting sidetracked all the time. But it's just as I'm standing here drilling, because it's not all that. Your mind tends to wander. I thought, oh yeah, better think about making this again. So yeah, good idea, David. Well done. Okay, rightio, that's it. Going inside to have a cup of tea. And charge the battery up because I didn't fully charge it. Rightio, see you later. Bye now.